The last thing my boyfriend ever said to me. You'll never be enough. And honestly, he was right. Because what I am is too much, too rich, too smart, too patient, and way too calculating for someone like him. I still remember the day we met. Coffee shop on 9th. Me in thrift store jeans with a carefully crafted hole in one knee. Hair in a messy bun. Not the Instagram kind, the I can't afford salon products kind. I ordered the cheapest thing on the menu, counted my change twice, and let out that little sigh. The one that says, life is hard, but I'm making it work. Mark noticed. Of course he did. I'd perfected that sigh over 3 different coffee shops that week. Rough day? He asked, all confident in his department store button-up that still had the creases from packaging. His watch? A knockoff he thought looked real. I could tell from 20 feet away, but I smiled like it impressed me. Just the usual student loan versus rent versus eating debate. I laughed. Like we were all in on this joke called being broke in America. I played the perfect struggling girlfriend. Packed his sad little lunches with little notes, saying, you've got this. Listened to his Sunday dreams about corner offices and vacation homes. Even pretended his apartment wasn't just a glorified shoebox with a leaky shower and neighbours who fought at 3 a.m. about who ate the last Pop-Tart. I acted impressed when he splurged on grocery store flowers. Gasped with delight when he took me to Olive Garden for our 3-month anniversary. And the whole time, I knew he'd trade up the second he got the chance. Because men like Mark don't want partners. They want trophies and stepping stones. 7 months in, he started working late. His texts became sporadic. Suddenly needed space to focus on his career. The oldest story in the book, written by the most predictable author. Enter Sophia, the human equivalent of a Pinterest board. Designer bags that were always the seasons never last. Hair that was expensively highlighted to look natural. That organic personality built from wellness podcasts and TED talks. And, oh yeah, a dad who just dabbles in real estate, owns half the city. I watched their connection unfold through accidental tags on Instagram. The rooftop bars, the charity galas, places Mark had always told me were pretentious when what he meant was unattainable. I wasn't even angry, just vindicated. Like watching the final scene of a movie you've already seen. What Mark never knew. My dad's favourite game, since I was 16, has been Spot the Gold Digger. After watching 3 stepmothers come and go, each one younger, each one more interested in our summer house than my father's book collection, he became paranoid about me attracting the same type. So we made a deal when I turned 21. 1 year living on my own, making my own connections, finding someone who wanted me for me. So I went full method actor, thrift store wardrobe carefully curated to look struggling but stylish. Created elaborate roommate drama stories to explain why I couldn't host at my place. Practiced that tight smile when checking restaurant prices. Even learned to cry on cue when Mark treated me to McDonald's after I hinted about being short on rent. The Oscar for most patient billionaire's daughter goes to... It's not you, he said that final night. It's just, I'm at a place in my life where I need someone who understands the world I'm trying to enter. I nodded, letting a single tear fall. Someone like Sophia. The look on his face. Surprise mixed with the relief of not having to say it himself. cowards always prefer when you connect the dots for them. "You'll never be enough for where I'm going," he said, trying to sound regretful but unable to hide the excitement underneath. Already imagining the doors Sophia's connections would open. Oh, he got me all right. Just not the way he wanted. The day Mark interviewed at my father's company? Chef's kiss. He didn't even know the connection. Just saw the listing for a junior executive position and thought Sophia's influence had fast-tracked his resume to the top. He'd practiced his humble origins backstory for days. Even bought his one good tie, navy with subtle diagonal stripes. The kind of tie that says, "I'm professional, but not threatening to the actual power in the room." He was halfway through his rehearsed speech about growth mindset and upward mobility when my father casually asked about his personal life. "Seeing anyone special, Mark?" Mark straightened, eager to name drop. "Yes, actually. Sophia Reinhardt. Her family has some real estate interests downtown." My father nodded. The Reinhardts. Small portfolio. 5 or 6 buildings, right? Nothing like the Carmichael holdings. And then he saw the nameplate on my father's desk. The one that matched my last name. The one he'd seen on my student ID 100 times, but never connected to the Carmichael Tower he was sitting in. Fun fact, when rich people fire you, they don't yell. They don't have to. They just smile. That cold practice smile that doesn't reach their eyes. And my dad has perfect teeth. Veneers at 65 that cost more than Mark's annual rent. "I believe you dated my daughter briefly," my father said, closing Mark's portfolio without looking at it. "Before trading up, as they say." Security was already waiting outside. Not the rough kind that drags you out. The quiet, efficient kind in good suits, who never touch you, but make it clear resistance would be unwise. I was having lunch with my father when Mark's message came through. "Was this all a game to you?" I showed my father the text, and he laughed that deep laugh that used to embarrass me as a teenager, but now felt like victory. "Should I respond?" I asked. "The game's over," he said, waving for the check. "Why would the winner need the last word?" Some girls post revenge selfies in designer clothes their ex could never afford. Some key his car or show up at his workplace. I just let the universe handle it. Last I heard, Mark's LinkedIn now lists him as a self-employed consultant. Sophia accidentally left him at a gas station on their way to her parents' lake house and blocked his number. His apartment building, owned by a subsidiary of my father's company, suddenly needed to reassess all month